Okay. We are streaming. It's a bit of a chaotic day, y'all. So we're just gonna pop in, have fun here for a bit, and then be on our way. I think we'll stream for like an hour. We'll do some track feedback. We got one track in from a patron. Actually, we had two, but one of them's like weirdly corrupted, and Ableton is just being weird about it. So unfortunately, Foss, longtime patron, I can't listen to your track this time, but there will be a next time. But we got one other track that I'll be doing feedback on. Drop questions anytime in the chat if you want. And I'm going to randomly pick people to give away my book to. Probably my plugin. We've got the Book of Chances, my cards. We've got my Digitech Whammy DT that I'm ready to part with because I have so many other pitch shift pedals now. And what was the last thing? Oh, right in front of me, this mic that I'm using, the Oma condenser, which right now, I don't know what's happening. Is it a little crispy? I feel like we just did a test and things were sounding good, and now I'm not sure. But
for you, I think, I'm cranked up. Oh, I did turn this up because it's coming quiet, but I could turn you down.
Yeah. I mean, let us know. I am not sure if it's just going to be in my headphones or what, but yeah. I'm excited. We're going to preview some new music that I've got coming up. What you just heard coming in during the intro was like a little thing I made with mostly modular, actually, and then I played bass on top of it, but it turned into like hip-hop, which is kind of fun. Been sitting on that for a bit, and I want to release it. And I've got 3 other tunes that I want to share with you that are all like pretty different, but that I'm pretty stoked about. And I mean, yeah, I guess that's maybe where we'll get started. Let's have a look. Here we go. I want to play this track. It doesn't have a title yet. This is a collab with Zalian, who you might remember from 4 Producers a couple years ago. Been working on some stuff together. And it goes pretty hard. What do you guys think of this track so far? Oh yeah, Mr. Bill 5, yeah, kind of. that's that.
Damn. Oh my gosh.
It's been coming together for a long time. Definitely a lot of Zalian's work on that. His sound design is just ridiculous, but it's also funny because I go into the project, you know, we pass these Ableton sets back and forth, and then I'm looking at what he does and I'm like, oh, that's actually like, it's not like crazy complicated. You're just good. You just made a lot of good choices in a row. So yeah, we let me know if you have any thoughts on that. If you have any title ideas. Right now we're calling it Deep 909 Breakbeat, which I don't know, also, honestly not the worst title. There's 909 drums in there. But excuse me. Yeah. That's a fun one coming together. Also, Ryan here is going to be managing the chat, helping me sort through questions and comments. And I think also we didn't really fully decide for the prize awarding. Are you going to pick? Are we going to have a pool?
So yeah, so how these giveaways are going to work today is at random points during the stream, we're going to call out certain prizes. And then we're going to ask you guys to spam a certain emoji in the chat. And just keep spamming that emoji, and if it catches my eye, and I'll just kind of choose at random, you'll get that prize, and we'll reach out to you. Yeah,
that's how we're gonna do it. And we are doing worldwide shipping on this stuff, so yeah, no restrictions there. I even confirmed with Oma, who's gifting a mic for this giveaway. They want to send it to whoever. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, maybe just America, but yeah. We will put this mic in space if we need to. So, yeah. Also, glad we figured out that clipping issue because I wouldn't want to be like mic sponsor. Yeah. So, yeah, we appreciate OHMA. OHMA. Check them out. I've been using this for about a year, and it's like obviously eye-catching, beautiful, but it sounds great. I was sold on it because they did a comparison with a U47, and I was like, oh, yeah, I can barely tell the difference between this and like a holy grail mic that I've longed for quite a while. So yeah, not that I'm ever actually gonna have a U47 ever. Longing for is not the best word, just looking at from afar.
Before we get too much further, I just want to like thank you, Trev Barnes, for the $10 dono.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was totally unneeded.
Appreciate it.
But here's just what he said, so we just have it.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah. Hey Andrew, happy holidays. Grateful that you're one of the reasons I'm a full-time creative. Thank you for your constant inspiration. Finally reading Make Your Own Rules. Love it so far. Have a happy 2026.
I would love to know what you're doing as a full-time creative. I think that it always like warms my heart to hear that I've played any part in anything like that, because I think, you know, having a creative life is one of the most fun things you can do, fun and rewarding, and if you can make it happen, it's like the top. So why don't we do a giveaway right now and see how that works? And was that Trev Barnes?
Trev Barnes, yeah.
Mentioned Make Your Own Rules. So hey, who would like to read a copy of my book? I will mail it to you, or if you prefer, we can audiobook it, ebook it, or more than one of the above.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Is there a book emoji?
That's a great question. Book.
I'm gonna tee up our next track.
Yeah, there are a bunch of like book journal emojis. Let's do that. So let's for the next 60 seconds, I'll put a timer on, 1 minute. Spam some book emojis, any emoji, and you will win a copy of Make Your Own Rules. Already, let's
One of you
will win a copy of Make Your Own Rules.
You will get a book per emoji that you put in the chat.
All right, let's do 1 minute starting now. Sweet. Let's get them.
Or you know what? Let's just do it until the end of this this tune.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
Or I don't know, for a little while.
Yeah.
I think the next tune we're listening to is 4 minutes long. But I want to play you guys this. It's called Liminal, and this is another collab. It's with I might be getting this wrong. Kind Seer. He's got a great Instagram with really like aesthetic groove box stuff, and not a lot of releases, but the ones he does have are beautiful. And I reached out to him because I wanted to do something together. So this is a much more chill thing, but some beats, sound design. Let me know what you think. Oh, that's a lot of books. have any thoughts on that track. Also hoping to put it out soon. It's called Liminal, and it's going to go with a little EP of stuff that was actually all started from the you may or may not have caught this because I've only put it on Instagram. I dropped a Max patch that I helped create, and it like is a weird sort of like automatic sampler sequencer thing, and I started a bunch of tracks with it, collabed with a bunch of people with it, and we're doing kind of an EP with this vibe with 4 or 5 of those tunes. But anyway, we've got a winner.
Yes.
For the book.
Make your own rules.
Who's it going to?
Make your own rules is going to plus heart dot.
Plus heart dot.
Nice.
Great username.
Thank you.
Can you please email Galen@andrewhuang.com, who is a helper on my team, who will make sure that you get your copy of Make Your Own Rules in your preferred format: hardcover, audiobook, ebook. Thanks for playing, everybody. I think what we're gonna do for the next one, instead of spamming so much emoji in the chat, we'll just ask you to comment on the song, and yeah, we'll pick a comment at random.
Yes.
to give a prize to. I think that I want to give away this pedal next.
Ooh.
Bam! Christmas time, everybody. So yeah, Digitech Whammy. This is just my personal whammy pedal, but I have so many pitch shifting things now. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm ready to let go of one. And yeah, it's not sponsored or anything. It's just like my pedal
Nice.
that I've been using for a bit. So if you want to be entered to win this, again, we'll ship it to wherever. Although, we should mention, for anything that we're shipping, we can't be responsible for like import duties and whatnot, you know, the whole tariff customs situation. So just please, if you win one of these and accept one of these, hope you're okay taking care of any fees like that might happen. Shouldn't be a lot on the book, maybe a bit on the pedal, but we'll mark it as like as low a value as we can for like a used piece of music gear. So yeah, let's listen to one more track. Leave a comment about this track if you want to be entered to win this pedal, and then we'll move on to I'll look at some questions. We'll look at some we got a track to give feedback on from a patron. But here we go. This is a tune that I'm not actually even going to play you the full thing of because the back end of it is so messy. This is called Crown.
I made
gonna leave that one there because the next part is filled with just all kinds of random little demo ideas that I'm trying. Interested to know what you think of that, though. This is a track where I felt like it started off just being like this weird glitchy instrumental thing, as many things that I do start as, and then it just very slowly organically grew. Like I started this probably 10 years ago, just when I was like trying to figure out how to make some weird sound effects, and then I like added some synths, added some bass, figured out a chord progression, like didn't touch it for years, came back to it, and then it's just become one of my favorite things that I've done in a long time. After getting like the vocal line in, and I feel like what I am happy about it is that there's a great blend of all kinds of things that I love that I haven't before found a blend for, like all the glitchy stuff, but like the songwriting is front and center. Weird time signatures, though. It has like a pop element to it, but it's like got all these like weird ear candies, and like stuff is constantly changing. So yeah, I'm excited to have found that vibe, and might do more like that. But it's just this like weird one-off right now. I rented a timpani the other week to like add timpani to it. Like it's just gonna become a unique thing. But yeah, interested to hear your thoughts. And well, now that the song is over, the entry period to win this is over.
Yes.
Ryan, who's gonna take home the whammy?
Okay, Digitect whammy is going to Joseph Padla. Okay, Joseph
Awesome.
Padla, you get a Digitect whammy. Please reach out to our friend Galen. I'll drop the email in the chat. Yeah.
Yes, congrats, Joseph. Enjoy the pedal. I'm going to kind of miss it because, you know, it's a classic, but also I'm going to be pitch shifting with like 5 other things that I have that pitch shift. And yeah, happy holidays to you. I think it should be time for some track feedback. Oh wait, you know what? Let's do some questions first, because I think, you know, we've been in here for almost half an hour already. I would love to answer some stuff. I did see one float by about whether I enjoy the video making aspect of YouTube from a creative standpoint, which I definitely do. And it's been interesting because my relationship to making video is completely different to my relationship. Well, maybe not completely different, but pretty different to my relationship to making music, because with music, I've been doing it my entire life, and it's like an obsession, and I think about it all the time. I had a lot of formal training with it, but then I was also constantly like researching stuff on my own and experimenting, trying stuff. And with video, it was just sort of like, oh yeah, this is fun. I'll do it now and then. And then, you know, I haven't learned anything formally with it. And I just started doing it kind of out of curiosity. And it's definitely the thing that has kind of propelled my career the furthest due to YouTube. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Like, I enjoy editing, I enjoy filming, I enjoy setting up shots and framing, and, you know, playing with depth of field and stuff like that. And definitely the kind of storytelling aspect of it, I wouldn't even say I'm like great at. You know, I just do plain old tutorials sometimes with no arc or hook or whatever. But I think that I do enjoy thinking about what is going to come across to the audience and how I can like kind of surprise people. Like, that's fun for me. And Space Time is probably the biggest example of like, how far could we take this and have fun on the video side in conjunction with the kind of interests and goals that I have with music. So yeah, check out Space Time if you haven't already. I don't know who all's floated into this stream today, but yeah, a few years ago, I pretended to go to space for 6 months, and it was a great time on my YouTube channel. For me, anyway. I don't know. I think I confused a lot of people. You told me that you believed confused. It for the
I know.
first little...
I remember I was still at Berkeley.
Yeah.
And I remember my classmate went to me. Was like, show me the video. I was like, did you know Andrew went to space? And I was like, oh. And then like, I checked the video. I was like, it looks really legit, at least as far as episode 1 goes.
Yeah.
And then like as it went on, I was like, okay, yeah, this is like a lot of really cool video editing stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because like I really didn't think we would fool anybody, but that first episode came together like pretty well, and like, I don't know, it's just what it is. I'm really glad we put it out before the age of AI. I'll say that. But yeah, it worked for what it had to be.
Yes.
There's a little super chat that just
Oh my
came in.
goodness.
Thank
Who's
you,
that? Let me...
Warav. Hey Andrew, I
Yeah.
started my music production journey back in 2020. Looked up to you and all do. Thanks for everything. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh wow.
Man,
So
appreciate you
kind,
being
yeah.
here, and glad I could help in the creative journey. Any other questions coming? I'm gonna let you moderate,
Yeah,
Ryan, and
I
just
gotcha.
throw them to me.
If you can adjust some levels, because I'm seeing some stuff in the chat. Your mic is a little quiet, so I guess we can turn the music down.
Yeah.
And then turn the master up.
Mic down or music down,
Music
master
down,
up.
master up. Yeah.
I just did like a couple hairs, so who knows if that makes a difference, but
Yeah. I saw a question about the max patch you were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you want to drop the link in the chat? It's
Yeah.
andrewhuang.com/vertices, I believe.
Yes.
So
that was a really fun project. I like.
yeah. So Ryan did some of the patching on that too. I want actually, can we just pull it up to give people a little look? You guys should try this out. Let's accept the cookies. So Vertices is back in the day. When was it? This is too long ago now. I've been meaning to do a full YouTube video on this, and I will once this EP is ready. It's all kind of connected. But I was sponsored by Cycling 74, who makes Macs, just to do an Instagram post. And they're like, oh, you know, what would you want to do? Maybe we can like figure something out together. And I'm a very basic Macs user, and so I kind of took it as an opportunity to be connected to their team and ask if they could teach me some stuff, as well as help me make this thing that I was dreaming of. And what ended up happening was I realized I do not have time to properly learn Macs. And so they, you know, I did a bit of the patching in here, but a lot of it was redone by other people who were like, oh, there's a way better way to do this. And then eventually it just got to a point where I was like, okay, here's my ideas. Do you guys want to make it? And Ryan helped too, was part of that. I think it was 5 different people kind of patching different pieces. I will say I did the UI. Yes. I had a lot of fun taking everybody's like little nodes and stuff and figuring out how to do this cool, colorful package with these like drop shadow blocks and whatnot. And then the concept was mostly mine. I was thinking about, I actually wanted to do this in modular, and I was like, no, that's going to be insane. The idea is you can drop any sample into here, and then you can select what notes you are open to having it be played at. There's like a envelope, there's a reverb, there's a fun visualizer. But the thing about it is that every single parameter has its own sequencer. Let's see if we can find that. Yeah, so there's like one of these 16-step sequencer for like every envelope parameter, every sample parameter, every reverb parameter, with probability. And you can randomize this. You can change the length of all of them independently. And so it's just a really quick and easy way to experiment with sound. Then there's some extra buttons where you can kind of like macro change the probability of the whole patch. Stuff like that. There's a always there kind of like record anytime you want button, because cool stuff and happy accidents are bound to happen. And then there's one macro control for just, you know, making kind of big gestures across the whole patch, and it can be assigned to a couple different things. Yeah, it's a wild little device, and I'm gonna be doing a full main channel video on it in the new year.
I remember when you asked me to help you patch it, I was like really out of my game here.
Oh yeah, well, you killed it with your additions. Oh, and biggest thing I should mention, it is free.
Yes.
You can just download it from my site. You will need Macs, but there is a free version of Macs that I think is fully functional other than saving. It's something like that. It's pretty much like, yeah, you can have this and play with it and generate a bunch of sounds, record stuff completely for free. So try it out if that sounded interesting to you. Yeah, do we have any more questions? Maybe I'll take 3 and then we'll listen to a track, and then we'll take a few more. What time are we at? All right, we got time.
If you can still bring up your mic volume in some way, I think.
Oh, mic higher still. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, this is a
Let's see how this does. Still not clipping though. Let's hope.
This
Yeah.
is a deep cut. Are
Deep
you ever going
cut.
to release the Honey If You Could Be Mine track that you made forever
Oh,
ago
man.
in the song 55 Minutes video?
Yeah, you know what? That's an interesting one. Every once in a while, I still think about it. Every once in a while, I still get a comment about it. It definitely has a hook to it. Honey, yeah, honey, yeah, honey, my. It's yeah, it's on my like long list of songs that I half did and ended up on the internet due to some other video thing I was doing. But yeah, I really should come back to it. I think I did try to revisit it once, and I I'm sure this is relatable. I find it happens to me a lot. You write something and then you just can't find any other sounds or words that work with the melody because you have had the demo or the rough going around in your head for too long. So I'm kind of like, Honey If You Could Be Mine, like, is that really like worthy of being the main line of the song? And I kind of wasn't feeling so sure about that, but anything else I tried, I was like, oh no, but it doesn't sound like Honey If You Could Be Mine. So it was too, I don't know. I just, if anyone knows how to get out of that like loop that you can get trapped in of like every syllable doesn't feel right unless it was the one that I just randomly did the first time, that would be great. I feel like there's so many songs of mine where that is the bottleneck.
I struggle with that too.
Yeah.
It's
a challenge. Demo-itis is real.
Demo-itis.
We have another question.
Yeah, I saw a question that I really liked. I'm curious to know, as a dad myself, have you been trying to get your kids into playing any musical instruments?
Ooh, yes, I definitely have. I'm not trying to force anything. I think this is the year that like official piano lessons will start with my older kid who's 4 3/4 right now. So I'm pretty stoked about that, and we'll just see how it goes. But what I have been doing is just like playing a lot of music and like trying to throw some interesting stuff in while also letting them lead the way with what they're into. And something really cool about my daughter is that she's been really fast to recognize melodies since she was like 3 months old. So I would play her something and she would have like a certain facial expression, and I found that this was consistent. And so there was like one song of mine that would make her smile really big, and I could play like 2 seconds of it and she would smile, and I'd play 2 seconds of something else and she should stop smiling, and I'd go back to the first thing and I did this like at multiple different times. And so I was like, whoa, you are like dialed into these melodies. And now we play little games, like I'll have a little keyboard and I'll play like a snippet of one of her favorite songs or something, and she'll try to guess it, and she usually does in like 2 seconds. Or we also do I think she got this from her teacher at school. She will clap the rhythm of a melody and then I have to guess what that is, or I'll clap and she'll have to guess what it is, which is really tough. But if you confine it a bit to be like, okay, it's only K-pop Demon Hunter songs or something, then you can actually make a pretty fun game out of that. And I have a little Yamaha Reface synthesizer. It's the CS one, the one that's like the most synthy one. Like it's not like an electric piano or whatever. So I let them go to town on that, and they're not quite like ready for it yet. Like they'll play it for a bit, but they do not have the bandwidth to start understanding what like a filter cutoff slider does or whatever. But yeah, that's sort of where the general lay of the land is with dadding and musicking. I saw a question about whether 1st of October and other YouTube projects have changed my approach to art, which I think is an interesting one. I think that there's it's almost too complicated to fully unpack. Probably there's definitely been an effect, I think, in mostly good ways, like with 1st of October, realizing that we could do so much in such a short period of time. And also like this is not the only place that it comes up, but definitely 1st of October is the extreme of it. Realizing how much of the stuff that you do in your art doesn't really matter, or like has much less importance than you might give it. Like, I've spent like an hour on a hi-hat sound, and like during 1st of October, an hour is like, oh, we finished the full song. So it's funny, you know, the importance that you give to different things. And also, like, it kind of depends on each project and how much polish it needs, you know, style-wise or, yeah, just everything's a little bit case by case. And on 1st of October, by nature of it, we're not working on super complicated songs. So, you know, there's that aspect. But I think letting go of some of the perfectionism, that's huge. And then, yeah, I mean, I one kind of, what's the word? I don't know, like a concrete thing about doing YouTube projects is that it really opened up a lot of doors for me. And so I think just, you know, by nature of that, I'm like working with a lot more people that are interesting. I'm like able to spend more of my time just doing music, which has made me better at certain things. And so, yeah, it's been a kind of like everything feeds everything else effect. I'm trying to think if there's actually been any drawbacks. I guess if there has been a drawback, it's been like, well, the videos take time too. So they give me more time for music because now it's my job, but also they take time away from music because I have to make videos. But like,
yeah, it's just pros. Well, at least with the 1st of October, like Rob's teams handle that edit though, right? Where
yeah, that's true. 1st of October, you know, it was Rob's idea to begin with, and he was happy to kind of like, you know, he gets the more interesting video on his channel. He gets I think it's that like he's so pumped about it. I mean, I love it too, and I'm really excited that we're still doing it, but I feel like Rob is like 1st of October's biggest fan. And I mean, maybe that's just him because he's got that golden retriever energy about everything. But for some reason, like from the very beginning, he was like, this is awesome, we're gonna do it. And I took a couple years to get on board. Now I'm like fully on board, but it was always like a bit of a strange one for me. And I think maybe again it's like that perfectionist part of me where I was like, oh, but I always just I want to make them better. It's like so hard for me to let go and say like, okay, we're releasing this thing that we only wrote in one day, wrote and recorded. But anyway, yeah. I may have lost the initial question at this point. So why don't we head over to Ableton and listen to a track that we have from Adrian Johnson.
Oh, they have comments as well. Let me pull that up.
Oh, cool. Let me take another question then. Oh, have we ever considered going back to some of those 1st of October Sonic Boom songs and expanding them? I'm not sure. I don't know. There's definitely ones where I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love to make that one better. And I think it would kind of come down to whether it becomes a priority over other things that I'm wanting to release. Because, yeah, I mean, that's I think the tricky thing about having a lot of things that you want to get out there, a lot of ideas. You know, if I were the kind of person who put out an album every 2 or 3 years, then for sure I think this would be something I'd prioritize. But yeah, I know for Rob too, it's a tough one because both of us are so much about the ideas and so much about like that, the process, I guess. And the fact that like we did it, we wrote the song, it was fun, we got to share it with people. When that's over, we're not so obsessed with like having like a big hit and making it as polished as possible, or like having it have a broader appeal, or having it like have more re-listenability or something. Like those things are part of it and they're important as well, but they're just not as much of a priority for me and Rob as like having fun, you know, doing the thing, being in the process. And then we always have the next one of those that we want to get into. So yeah, hard to know if and when we would jump back to kind of like redo or polish some of that old stuff. That's the most honest answer I can give you on that. Let's listen to, it's called Forgotten Obsidian Ambient Vultures version.
Okay.
From Adrian Johnson.
So,
and
yeah, so for this track, they said this track is a work in progress. They're trying to figure out what else it needs, and they're looking forward to mixed feedback and other pointers. They're planning to re-record the somewhat out-of-tune kalimba towards the end, but it kind of works. Maybe just as an alternate dystopian version of the track.
Cool. Let's give this a listen. And By the way, Adrian is a patron of mine at the creator tier, and I do a stream every month and listen to tracks people send in from that intro tier. Ooh, I love those little glitches. All the sounds are sounding great, honestly. These pads, the kick. Nice bit of guitar. Maybe that hi-hat is a little sharp for this vibe. Like we could build to that or just have it be a more filtered background thing. This is a new section, maybe some more contrast of like more layers coming in or having more layers before in the previous part that fall away. Very vibey here. I really like that sound, that kind of like scraping that's being filtered down. That's super cool. Love to know what you did there. It was a little forward to start, but then you filtered it back. So maybe that initially you could start a little lower. I think we're wanting to feel a little more build, a little more like maybe rhythm energy. It's been a pretty long chunk of like mainly that kick at the start of the bars holding down rhythm. I think like something even like background, you know, groove, auxiliary sort of percussion stuff might help here. It's also a bit of a shot in the dark because I don't know what genre this is intended to be, because I could hear it as like post-rock influenced electronic, or maybe it's beat-driven ambient, like I don't know, depending on the place you're coming from. You know, it's gonna be slightly different. One thing that I'm thinking is, and this is feedback that I give often, like heightening the difference between sections, you know, like you had a bit of a build here coming back to this where we're now, there's more drums, a couple more layers of instruments maybe, but make that really dramatic, you know? What I would feel for this, but I don't know. It could be that you're going for a very like slow evolving ambient thing with like not such distinct borders in between the sections, in which case maybe it's going the opposite direction of like much more organic, fluid, yeah, just an approach to sections that's not quite as distinct. The atmospheres are beautiful. Maybe it's getting to a point where the sounds have been repeated too much, like not enough change in texture. You know, we've been hearing some of these elements throughout a large amount of the track. So you could think about adding more or having them played on different parts or modulating things, you know, having their sounds evolve. Yeah, really beautiful stuff. Very curious how this ear candy was created. And I think too, possibly this is a mix thing, or possibly this is due to what you were actually playing on the synths and guitar. I think there could, again, depending on the genre, there could be a more forward lead element. But it's hard to say, you know, this could just be like a cool ambient wash. Where I think if you took that approach, then maybe, you know, blurring the sections more makes sense. But if you're thinking of this as like a track that has like structure to it, and that you want like a very like attentive listener, then I think maybe figuring out what you could do to have like leads come forward or have there be like a distinct line that was really like, yeah, this is the one to pay attention to, this is the one that's going to repeat, this is the one that people are going to remember. That could be an approach. But yeah, really cool. Like sound design wise, I think it's great. Mix wise, I think it's great, other than possibly, you know, some of those like higher end things that just for the vibe that's coming across to me, I don't think need to be as bright for a track like this. It could, you know, just be so warm and enveloping and lush. So yeah, nice work. I mean, not a lot of feedback other than that. I hope you get in there and try some additional layers or some additional evolution throughout it. But I think it's really cool, and I hope this was helpful. Just based on my kind of guessing about where you're coming from with it. And if you're in the chat, let us know. I think it should be time for another giveaway. Who wants the Book of Chances? This is my deck of musical inspiration cards that, you know what, should just open this up and let you guys see them. We're doing an unboxing, and of course it's that shrink wrap that I cannot actually ever.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, just a bit of plastic in my mouth, no problem. And yeah, so these are a deck of playing cards that have like a bunch of extra symbols on them for like musical notes and rhythms and
ASMR.
Yes. Come on, it's a fresh deck. And it's in more shrink wrap, but at least you can see one card.
I can get the prediction version. Let's see.
Let's see. Are you gonna focus, camera? No, you still see my eyes. Come on. Yeah. So yeah, we've got like a little, very Eno-esque inspiring phrase, and honestly, still feel like there's plastic in my mouth. So I'm just gonna do that on stream.
This is not the final art, but we can get a sense of the.
Oh yeah, I mean these are pretty much final. We had a little set made for checking the quality and whatnot. Also holographic edges. Hello. And yeah, so you know you can draw a chord degree, a chord type, a musical note, a rhythm. There's a little like dots at the bottom. And I've been having fun with them, just like, you know, making little random ideas. And they're not on sale right now because we just do like one batch every year. So I've got a few, and yeah, we'll give away one to the person who leaves to a random person who leaves a comment on the next track that we will listen to. Where did my tracks go? Here we go. All right. This is what we opened the stream with, but it was just kind of, you know, up there in the background. We'll play it one more time. It's a short one. And leave a comment about it, and we will pick a random person to win the Book of Chances, the musical inspiration cards. We will mail them anywhere in the world. And also drop your questions in the chat, and I'll get to those after too. Yeah, let me hear thoughts on that. Put that together. I don't know. I think that was probably in the pandemic. I did so much modular patching in the pandemic. And I made this thing that like felt like a hip hop beat, almost fully on modular synth, or maybe fully even. I can't remember. I have to go back. I have a video of some of the stuff that went into this, and then I was like, oh, I'll play bass on this. That'll be fun. So yeah, it's another one where I'm like, I haven't ever taken this approach before or again, but maybe I can find other stuff to fit on it to put out with it. Cause like, is it kind of weird to drop a 1.5 minute, like instrumental glitchy hip hop bass and modular synth jam? But I really like it and I keep coming back to it. That's called Morphology for now, because I was using the Make Noise Morphogene for all those like piano splices. So it was a cool track because it was so happy accident. It was like I saw some people in the stream asking about like the rhythmic stuff and the ear candy, and like it was very much like setting up a system, you know, a patch where I mean, I did dial it in, but then it would just kind of like create variations on this idea. So I had like the little like clicky percussive stuff, the main claps. I had the like high single notes that were totally random. I think they were in a scale, but they were just like every once in a while play one really high note into the reverb. And then the piano, which was just like a random piano sample from a pack that, you know, I stumbled into it doing some cool stuff as Morphogene pitch shifted it in certain ways and played certain splices of it. So it all kind of generated for a while, and I captured a bit and played bass along with it. I think I probably added the kick drum later to just kind of like anchor it. But yeah, I'll revisit the project and see what I can glean and share about that one day too. But yeah, interested to know your thoughts on this track. And Ryan, do we have a winner?
Yes, the winner of Book of Chances deck is going to Karma 2701. Congratulations,
Karma 2701. You can email Galen at andrewhuang.com.
Yep.
And we will make sure you get your cards. Ryan's gonna put it in the chat again for spelling, etc. Congrats. And for the rest of y'all, the Book of Chances will come back. I might do a batch like in April or something, because I think the last one was in October. We might see how it works to do 2 in a year rather than 1 in a year. But yeah, it's one of those things where like for manufacturing reasons and for the fact that like Ryan and I don't want to be packing up stuff to mail all the time. We do it where we have a pre-order, we see how many we can get, and that allows us to also get them more affordably, and then the company that manufactures them mails them out. So yeah, some inside baseball for you. Let's take some questions, and then we'll figure out a final way to enter for the last giveaway, which is for an OMA condenser mic. OMA has graciously... Oh, did we just fade away for a second?
We're good. We're back.
All right.
We're back. Just accidentally hit the black button. Okay.
Yeah, OMA has very generously donated one of their condenser mics that they will be sending to the winner, who I think... I don't know. We don't have another entry method. I guess we could do an emoji spam again, or maybe, Ryan, have you noticed anybody being particularly excellent in the chat?
I feel like we could do, if you want, you could take some questions. Fost has resubmitted the track if you want to try again.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you want to, like, we could swap places. You can answer questions.
Sure. I think that's a great plan. All right. What's the headphone dance?
Oh, okay. Here we go. Answer some questions.
All right. So we will listen to Fost's track after all. Great. And let's look at some questions. Bass is the best part of that. Love that. That's quite an Andrew Huang thing in my mind. Detailed percussion that can be mistaken for vinyl crackle if you aren't attentive. Yeah, I think I always love... I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like in part an ASMR thing, in part being an IDM nerd, and in part just being like, you know, restless, but like any kind of those textured, skittery, non-repeating beats, like that's just what my brain wants all the time. It's like the first thing that I try to do on any modular. It's like I find a way to add it to so many of my tracks. We need more melodic bass driven tracks like this. Yes, we do. All right, I'm gonna go for some longer comments that are hopefully questions. Let's see. Oh yeah, we'll buy the Book of Chances, but it's always sold out. Yeah, we talked about that. What is currently your favorite go-to patch? Yeah, I mean, there's the doing weird IDM drums for sure. I think that's just it. I just do that all the time. I love it. I recently, and this will be in an upcoming video too, I got the new Bastel Citadel set, which is like being able to there's this one they call Effects Wizard, and you can immediately change what effect is active by triggering it. And so that's something that I always love doing. And there's, you know, it's easier in a DAW, but there's something so fun about like the live nature of modular and the experimental nature of patching. And I always wanted to have that workflow in modular. And I set it up a few times with a patch where I was like, I'm going to get a bunch of my different effects and route them all to a sequential switch, and then I'll modulate the switch. And like, but it's just so many cables for this kind of thing. And it's much less flexible than just having a stack of effects in a DAW that you can like hot map to keys and turn on and off, which I highly recommend. But yeah, that kind of thing is also something I'm interested in. These kind of like split second changes where like sonically everything becomes completely different. So I'm patching that kind of stuff. Do you make your own thumbnails and titles? And if so, what's your strategy with them? Oh man, thumbnails. We do so much thumbnail stuff. So I think everybody on the team, which is I work with Ryan, Galen, and Phil, you kind of like all do thumbnail stuff at different times. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a hot minute since I've done a thumbnail. I feel like this year, especially with the videos, it's been like Galen and Phil for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm thinking about trying to do like the YouTube game without being quite so like, oh my god, and like you know, there's some degree of like we just know that if my face is in the thumbnail, it'll do better, and so I'm fine with that. Like whatever, my face is in the videos, even if there's some like. I might have an idea for a thumbnail that feels more cool or artistic or something, but at the end of the day, like I'm not a person who makes thumbnails. Like the thumbnail is just like the packaging. So yeah, we have experimented with different stuff over the years to see what works and try to kind of pay attention to that. But it's a lot of like basically the same way that you have to approach a video. It's like, are you giving the person who's seeing it a reason to watch it, and are you meeting or exceeding their expectations, rather than like what used to be the thing of, you know, I think we're through the like major clickbait era of like try to trick people into watching your videos, you know, try and make it the most exciting looking version of whatever it might be. I think now it's sort of like, how do you represent exactly what it is so that someone sees it, they're pretty sure they know what they're going to get, but as they watch it, they still are interested. There's still a little bit of surprise and delight. Because, yeah, you know, if people don't get what they expect, they just click away. So that's sort of the approach now. But to answer the kind of main piece of that question, I'm not making my own thumbnails. I'm telling the team what to do.
Yes.
And I'm like shooting a few different faces of like, I guess this, you know, is this a video where I'm happy about it or I'm like questioning something? Yeah.
I remember the first time I was like, when I first joined the team and I saw we were filming the thumbnail selects.
Yeah.
I was like, not at all it was how I expected the thumbnails were made.
Yeah. Well, like sometimes we just grab a still from the video.
Right.
But other times we're like, oh, you know what? It would be really great if me and my collaborator were kind of like hunched over the instrument and like pointing to it.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's...
we
don't do that naturally while filming, but we're like, oh, you know...
do you want to do
better for the thumbnail.
A quick thumbnail select of like the Oma mic we're about to give away?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I were doing a video about this mic, I'd be like... And I'd try a few faces, and I'd be like, point to it, or do I hold it? And I'd just like try things for, 30 seconds a minute.
Right.
And then we're like, okay, there's a good still to pull from that. But then other times, it just works better to have like an authentic still from the video. And yeah, it's a whole thing. But it makes such a huge difference, man. I've had videos that get like, you change the thumbnail and it starts getting twice as many views. So yeah, I'm happy to make that adjustment. It takes so little time compared to the impact. Do you find your favorite tracks perform better than the ones that you aren't as excited about, or is it more random? It's completely random. I do think there's a couple times I can think of like Liftoff and Cloud Collapse. I was like, and there's a few others, but those are the kind of the most extremes where it was like, I am really feeling this, and I put it out, and my audience is also really feeling it. Because a lot of the times there's like a mismatch where, I don't know, if I'm just like super pumped about something, and I mean, I'm not releasing stuff if I like don't think it's good. So I'm pumped about everything to a degree. But if there's ones where I'm like, oh, I think this is really going to hit, it is totally random whether those become fan favorites. And then there's other things where I'm like, oh yeah, like this is kind of a cool vibe. And I put it out and it's the one that everybody's talking about off the album. So yeah, to that degree it is random, but it does feel the best when I'm like, oh, both of us agree, like that was the coolest thing. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to make what you want to make. Curious about how you structure your week and create a work-life balance. Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I don't do a lot other than music and family. I'll tell you that. I see my friends like a couple times a month. And this is also like a new parent thing, right? I've got a 2-year-old. It's not a time where I'm like able to do much else. And that's fine. But it is like a pretty like every day is packed, There's not a lot. Like I'm not chilling and like watching a movie. K-pop Demon Hunter is literally the one movie I've watched this year because my kids are so into the soundtrack and a few people were recommending it to me, and then I watched it and I was like, oh, and I can make a video out of this. So nice. It all worked out.
The double.
But yeah, no, I think I have a very strict like 9 to 5 schedule for work. Never used to be that way, but that's what it is, with the kid situation. And then sometimes at night I'll try to do a bit more, but most often I'm like trying to get my sleep. So yeah, that's basically the structure. Let's see. Have you tried sampling? I love this idea. I haven't tried this. Sampling your old music using the Ableton stem separation to further create some crazy sound sequences. Oh. I love that stem separation exists, and definitely, the weird artifacts you can get out of it are as interesting to me as like the right way to use it. But I haven't done a lot of it, and it's funny. It was the kind of thing that I never thought would be possible, and now it is. And then I find like, oh, I don't actually want to use it as much as I thought it would come in handy. I feel like there's the occasional thing where you're like, oh, I love the bass line in this sample, but it's covered in all these other things, and now you can pull that out. But I'm realizing how rare it is that actually happens, and the times that I was dreaming of having this technology were also so rare. It's not like every day I was like, damn, I wish I had stem separation. It was like once a year you have that one tricky thing you're working with, and then it helps. So yeah, I haven't been using a ton of it, but yeah, one day it might be ripe for an experiment of what I would want to do is take a bunch of stuff and that you're not supposed to throw at the stem separator and see what happens, like a crazy busy jazz piano piece and be like, please get me the vocal from this. What will it do? Yeah, I think that'll be fun. I love artifacts, right? All the weird sound stuff. what was it like recording at Abbey Road? Great question. It definitely felt very much like, oh yeah, we're on holy ground or whatever for a part of it. And the engineers were so nice. After we were done our session, they stayed late and gave us a tour of the whole building. Like, we peeked in on a string session that was happening. We went to it wasn't in use at the time, the like main, I think it's Studio 2 that the Beatles did most of their stuff in. We went up to like a bunch of different control rooms. We went on the roof to look at where they keep the reverb chambers. It was super cool for that experience. And then there was also this part of it that was like, oh yeah, but it's also just a music studio. It's like, it's just a nice music studio. So it was kind of cool to feel both of those things. Like, so cool to get to use some of those instruments and like be in that place. And then also, you know, it's not like it's not magical. It's just like a place where some great stuff happened.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that the other like kind of aspect of it was that obviously, you know, Rob's made a video about this. His mental health wasn't great at the time, and I was like only kind of half privy to what he was feeling, and I think he was still kind of figuring it out. So there was a bit of like, I don't know, emotional confusion to some of that, as much as we also had good times and we're hanging out, and you know, we don't get to see each other that often. And then everybody got COVID, so that's how that went.
Right.
Let's see. Some artists feel that they will never make a better track. Adele, Someone Like You, John Legend, All of Me. Have you done that yet? Do you think you will one day? That's an interesting question. I don't think that I think in those terms. I think that a common thing that I've heard that I don't relate to is artists who are like, every release I want to be better than my last. And I think that, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's kind of foreign to the way that I approach things, I guess, because I'm just kind of like, the next thing I do is going to be the next thing I do, you know? It's like, what am I going to be interested in? What am I going to have time for? Or like, what is going to kind of bubble up out of all the things that I'm doing that makes sense to release, either because it's like, oh yeah, I'm like excited about this idea and it goes with this and it's finally the missing piece that comes together, or like, you know, whatever it might be. I'm not the type of artist that's like, I'm just focused on my one record, then I put it out, then I'm focused on the next one, and I gotta make it better. And I guess I'm also not thinking of my songs in terms of like, this one was better than that one or something.
Right.
So,
I feel like
yeah.
the sort of people who might have or think that they like definitely stick to like one style of music, maybe mostly, and because you do so many genres and styles, like it's hard to compare like like super IDM glitchy stuff to like your more folky songwriter stuff too.
Yeah, and I think too, I've also realized with just how long I've been doing this and how different my audience and my output has been at different times, the reason why a song becomes big is often not related to the music itself, or not entirely related. Like, for instance, I feel like I wrote some great songs before I had a big YouTube audience, and those are not as popular as the ones that I released after I had 1 million subscribers, of course. So just having that in my head, I know that like what I think is my best work has nothing to do with like what's actually out there, or how it's being received, or what's being listened to. And yeah, maybe it's different for, you know, if you're like Adele and have like these huge songs, and maybe one in particular becomes like the thing that is associated with you, maybe you'll feel like you can't reach that height again,
Right.
in terms of popularity or commercial success. Maybe that could be a thing. But yeah, I guess it's also not a thing that I think about. Like, you know, we're working on another plugin, and I'm not trying to be like, this has got to do better than Transit or whatever. It's just going to be what it's going to be. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's
true.
that's just me not having had like a big commercial hit, or maybe it's just the way that I approach everything. I guess I'm like, in a funny way, like in the shadow of Pink Fluffy Unicorns, of like, nothing's ever going to be as big as that probably, but it's also so separate from what I actually do and who I actually am and now, and like what my output is, that it almost doesn't feel like it counts or something. But yeah, good question. That stuff is like, I mean, it's different for everybody, but I feel like I can't engage with thinking about what's gonna be better, or that I've passed my best. Some interesting questions. I guess we'll talk about this one. What do you think is an optimal ratio of effort placed toward music creation versus marketing yourself? Yeah. My last video, I think it was my most recent video about like streaming strategies, is a good one to check out if you haven't already. Because I kind of touch on like the effort versus reward of a lot of common strategies to grow your streaming audience. I think that it's really up to each person, because hopefully we're all in this because we love music, and like spend as much time as you can on that part. But I also, I've met musicians where like, yes, they love music and they want to be doing it, like I would say for all the right reasons or whatever, but they also have a very business minded focus, and they're thinking about their brand, and they're thinking about their rollout plan, and what level of tour makes sense for them, and all these kinds of things. And if that's kind of naturally falling into place for them, in terms of like where they want to spend their time, or like who's on their team, or in the who the other members of their band are, or whatever, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I do find it interesting, like it happens more in bands, where, well, I guess it has to happen more in bands because a solo artist is only one person. So what I was going to say is, in a band, you'll have different people take on different roles a lot of the time. Like, I think there is sort of a mythological idea of like a band where everybody's like equally in it, and equally sharing the load. And it's true in some ways. And certainly I think a lot of bands like split finances evenly, and, like the lead singer's not staying in a better hotel or whatever, that kind of stuff. But there's so many more bands than not, maybe every one I can think of, honestly, that I know personally. Like, there's a person in the band who's like way more into recording. There's a person who's way more into logistics. And like, it's so much better to lean on those natural strengths than feel like, okay, everybody this week go spend 1 hour doing social media for the band. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think, take like the approach that is the best balance for you between like what comes naturally and what feels like it is having an impact. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do 2 more questions, and then we're going to do we have fast track?
Yeah, it's all Sweet. Loaded up, ready to go.
All right, 2 more questions, and then I think I should get out of here. I was planning on only going till 1, so let's go to 1:30. How do you keep the white studio walls clean?
Don't touch them.
Funny, it's nothing gets too dirty on the walls in here, I would say. Like,
yeah, I would say we just like the reason why they're so clean is because we just don't touch the walls. Everything is just like we just keep to the middle.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
Yeah. I would say the only time I actually have to touch the wall is like it's kind of crowded up there on the drum riser.
The drum riser is just sort of a dumping ground because I don't play drums often enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I just don't touch the walls.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? This is a great question. Do you do live streams monthly? This is the first time I've noticed. So what's the deal with my live streams?
Yes.
So I have for a year been doing monthly live streams just for patrons. And what I'm thinking is I'd actually like to do them more open to the public, and the part that will be reserved for patrons is just the track feedback aspect, because obviously can't go through hundreds and hundreds of tracks, but yeah, it's just more fun with more people in here, and it's cool to be able to take more questions and just share more. So yeah, I think going into 2026 we are gonna do a last Tuesday of every month public live stream, probably around now, as much as I would love to serve all time zones equally. And yeah, if you want to join my patreon.com/Andrew Huang at the creator tier level, you can submit tracks for feedback, and there's also a couple of bonus Discord channels just for that level of patron, but also, yeah, just join these streams. And you can get on my Discord if you want. All that stuff is just open. And oh, we still got to give away this mic, right?
Yes, exactly. So we can
Okay.
take like a listen, or I think the idea we could take a listen to Foss's track while we get submissions.
You know what? I'm gonna say. Oh no, wait. We need to have a comment about something specific if people want to enter. I was gonna say like any comment could win, but what if you just don't want this mic?
How about make a comment about what you would record with the mic?
Yes, let's do that. Make a comment about what you would record with the OMA condenser that we have as our final little giveaway item for this holiday stream. And I'm going to take one more question, and then we are going to listen to one more track for feedback. Thanks for joining today, y'all. That's fun. We got to do a real good question for this last question.
One thing I do want to point out while Andrew finds the question, some of the perks you get being a creator tier for Patreon, you get access to a Q&A channel in Andrew's Discord server, so you can ask questions there, and Andrew will answer them whenever he's got free time. And yeah, of course, things like this on the live stream, you can submit tracks and we'll take a listen and give you feedback. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna get into two questions because I think they're interesting.
Ooh.
One was about whether I practice instruments, and I feel like this is just an interesting one, I guess, because I feel like such a bad musician because I don't practice. I guess what I practice is like the computer stuff, you know, production and tricks and like figuring out interesting sound stuff. But I just, you know, I spent my teenage years playing guitar like 4 hours a day, piano maybe like half an hour a day, and I sort of built up this baseline level of chops, and then at a certain point I was like, I'm interested in all this computer stuff, and that just stopped. So yeah, I don't practice instruments, and what happens is when I record something, I just kind of like basically cram right before recording, and I'm like, okay, let's figure this out, let's run it a bunch of times, I can do it enough to record it, and then I play it, and I never play it again because I don't do live anymore.
Right.
So yeah, that's been an interesting one. Like on the one hand, I'd love to have more practice time so that I can experiment more quickly with like live played parts, but then at the same time there's all these other musical things I'm interested in. But it is kind of a fun fact of like, if you're listening to any music of mine with live instruments, there's a good chance it was like one of the first takes of me recording it, or even playing it, because I just like figured it out, tried it a bunch of times, and then laid it down. Or even, you know, if it was an easy part, didn't practice it, and it just came out. And also there's a good chance that I don't remember how to play it, or I'd have to figure it out again. And the last question I wanted to look at was, have you found some recurring design principles that have worked well across the plugins and hardware you've been involved in designing? Yeah. So I was involved with the Ghost module and pedal with Endorphins. I would say that was the one where out of all the ones I've done, I had the least input. Like my input was much more like broad to begin with, and then they went and did like tons of stuff with my concept, and then I came in with like a bunch of really fine details at the end about like layouts and sound finesse. But Transit, you know, I was like there every step of the way. Flip, I was there every step of the way. And I think the thing that stands out to me is like making things easy for the user, and remembering that like, yes, you want to be able to serve the people that really want to dig in and use all the features and have the complexity there and get all the, you know, power out of it, and that's great. And so having that depth to the product is really important to me. And then at the same time, you have to make it like really easy to make it sound good. You have to make it really easy to get it doing stuff out of the box. You have to hopefully make it friendly even to a beginner. And so I think that's something that we did better as things went along. Like I really, if I could go back and do Flip again, for instance, which I guess would be considered my first, I think it was my first product of a music making nature.
Yeah, I think so.
If I could go back and do Flip again, I would have loaded it up with way more samples, but way more stock samples, like a broader variety, a lot of them just like already sounding good, probably make more demo projects. And then, you know, with Transit, we realized with Transit 1, we included hundreds of presets, but I saw firsthand how much most people, at least to start with, they just try out different presets. So I was like, oh, the preset aspect of the plugin is like as important as the feature set. So that's a big thing we focused on with Transit 2. And then same with the Ghost pedal, we had the filter be able to go all the way to silence, because I was like, oh yeah, you might want that, right? Like, why would you want the full range? And like, you could do a cool effect but that goes to silence. And then we were finding like people don't understand why their pedal isn't making sound. We're like, okay, maybe this needs a tweak. So, you know, it depends on the expectations that a user brings to the device, and then it also depends on like exactly like how where you think it's going to be used. And anyway, I think that answers the question. But like, yeah, the simplicity with depth is like the thing that I'm striving for.
I feel like another thing, just because of your own personal taste, and then I see it reflect through your products as well, is that you just love random.
yeah.
So like,
that's true.
You're like constantly like, I think because you pull sources of inspiration from so many things, like just having an inspiration machine, I think is just like really.
That is true. And I will say random is something that I'm glad is showing up more everywhere. And it's, I feel like, such a great low lift thing to have, where like it doesn't have to take up a lot of room to just have a press the button to get a random preset, whether it's choosing from a list of pre-made presets or it's randomizing all your dials. That kind of stuff. Yeah. I love the inspiration that you get from surprise and unexpectedness. So good shout. Yeah, let's give this last maybe we'll switch spots again. Give this last track a listen.
Boss did say you wanted me to say the context just so you have that.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Let's see.
Alrighty, let's switch over that.
C song.
Okay, so Foss said, this song is not mixed or mastered, just a little idea they want to expand. They say, does it need another thing, or is it good by itself? Just a little more context, they created this while a storm was loud outside, and they thought about adding a bit of rain on top of it.
Ooh. Wow, this is very cinematic.
Okay.
Oh yeah, should we? Mini meter.
Where'd mini meters go?
Alright, we'll just look at this track. Love the atmosphere. Some nice panning.
Yeah.
Ooh, a nice dissonant note. Beautiful little piano. I think the vocal, I wish you had like a more kind of pristine sounding mic, because it does juxtapose a lot with like how beautiful and just polished your instruments sound. And I wonder if we need, kind of like the last track, a more distinct lead element. The vocal feels like maybe it could be it, but it's a bit meandering. sometimes the piano comes to the forefront with a beautiful thing, but then it goes to the background again. I'm drawn in by some of the long high notes as well on that kind of like stringy synth, but nothing has emerged as like the hero melody, I don't think. Yeah, like it's very atmospheric. It's a vibe, but I think it's just a vibe. So if you know, that's fine. Like, could see this working well as like film score or something like that. I think if you wanted to, if you're conceiving of it as a song, we need that like thing at the forefront that is gonna be memorable, that has an identity, you know, that people are going to hook onto. And like, I don't think I heard that here yet. Like, what's the thing that repeats? What's the thing that you can hum again? What's that like melodic motif that is going to identify the piece? But like, everything about it is beautiful. It just like, it feels like it needs that core thing, which, yeah, maybe you could find vocally or on an instrument, but otherwise, like, beautiful job. Really nice atmosphere. Love all the instrumental sounds.
Yeah, I think what you were saying, I was just thinking, it brings up a good point about like all of these elements totally work, and like the idea of having something repeat sort of frames it like, what is the context or goal of the piece itself? Like, yeah, it totally works as a film score, I could see, or like even like a concept album if you like really want to lean in this but you don't want to like have a film to score this too.
Yeah. And even too, like, on the idea of repetition, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, here's a, you know, 16 bar long melody and it happens, and then there's another section with a new melody and it happens, and then the first one happens again. Like, there could be, you know, an evolution. It could just be like a 5-note thing, doom 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 doom, and then the next time it comes back, doom 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 doom. Like, it just has a variation, like something where there's a bit of a journey to that. But yeah, I think that, you know, it doesn't have to have that. It depends on your goals for this, but that's sort of, if you're asking what I feel like is missing from like a contextless listen, that's where I think you could strengthen it by having this focal point that would pull me in, and, you know, it'll have this emotional arc to it. It'll come back again a little bit different, or over top of different chords, or with more intensity, and then that's going to propel it forward more. So yeah, thinking about those kind of lead elements, I think that's the main thing for this piece.
Right on.
But yeah, I think it's about time that I gotta wrap it up.
Yes,
we're gonna give away this mic, right?
Yes, people have been like commenting what they were gonna record with it.
Sick.
We have a winner selected for Oma mic. Here we go. The winner of the Oma mic is going to George Rivers. Congratulations, George Rivers.
Yeah. All right, George Rivers. Great name too. I hope you're an artist and that's your artist name. That's dope. So I'm gonna get in touch with Galen at andrewhuang.com. Send us your details. We'll figure things out. But Oma will be shipping you one of their condenser mics with this beautiful pattern on it. And yeah. Thanks everyone for joining the stream. This was super fun. Again, we'll be doing these once a month, last Tuesday of every month, sometime in the afternoon Eastern time. And if you want to submit tracks for feedback, join the creator tier of my Patreon. Also join the Discord if you want. That is linked in most of my video descriptions, I think. And yeah, hope you guys have good holidays. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
I got a couple more videos coming out in December, but yeah, then it'll be 2026.
Wow.
Which is an insane thing to take in. But here we are. All right, guys. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
See you later. I'm gonna play us out with that
Yo, play us out.
Zalian collab. Ba 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 boom.
Get the feeling right now.